Well, I think two things. Number one, I think we're a tremendous amount of improvement on our offensive line. I think they're getting to the point where they're pretty good. Okay, and number two, I mean, we just got to play better up front. I mean, we got to keep developing. We're not close to where we need to be, but we are making progress in the right direction.
Do you feel anywhere close to the kind of depth you feel like you'll need to get through an SEC schedule?
You know what? After our first scrimmage, I think I'll be able to answer that for you. Right now, I just don't know that because, you know, we're rolling a lot of guys in there right now trying to find out who those depth guys are going to be.
Do you pretty much have your starting lines kind of set right now, and now, like you said, you're trying to find out who is going to be those quality backups and situational guys?
I think we have two that we feel really good about at this particular point, but I'll tell you what, the way we run practice every day, if they don't practice good, they're not going to be the first team tomorrow. But I think we feel really good about two guys right now, and right now we're looking for that other position.
When it comes to the scheme and everything, have they been able to play fast, or are they still kind of playing so slow, are they thinking too much, or are they fine?
Oh, I don't think there's any question we're thinking a little bit too much at this particular juncture because we do so much. You know, I mean, we're an underfront, we're an overfront, we're a base front. I mean, we do a lot of different things. But I will say this to you, we're way ahead of where we were in the spring as far as understanding the scheme.
So is it any concern, or is this just a normal place, you know, this early in camp?
I think it's normal. Yeah. I think it's normal. You know, I'll know a little bit more, like I said, when we get to the first scrimmage and see how guys, you know, handle the pressure of scrimmage.
What are you going to be looking for specifically in that first scrimmage?
Good fundamentals, great effort to the ball, okay? No mental errors.
You haven't had Danny O'Brien, Dante Phillips too terribly long, but what do you see in those freshmen in the early game?
Well, right now, Dante's a ways away because of this. He was not in very good condition. He's a little overweight. I don't know what his situation was prior to here. So he's got a lot of work to do from a conditioning standpoint. Danny O'Brien was here all summer. And I tell you what, the last day and a half, I've really taken a good look at him, and he's really made tremendous improvement.
What about Trent Taylor?
Trent's done a lot of good things in spots. I got to get Trent more consistent, but in spots, he's got some talent.
Chuck, I apologize if you've been asked already this afternoon, but with McCullers, we talked a little bit about what kind of shape he'd be when they got there. You really didn't know. It seems like he surprised some people with how he was able to move. What have you seen from him since he's gotten?
Well, I'll tell you what he did. He worked his fanny off over the summer and got down to 3. I think when he reported to camp, I want to say he was 362, right? And we had conversation with him in the spring. He was like 390 something. You know what I mean? So he's done a good job, and he can still stay in the loosened weight. So what I would say this to you is that kid's made a commitment to try to be a good football player.
Is that one of those deals where maybe later in practice that kind of stuff shows up as camp progresses? Maybe the need to get in a little better shape. Is that when it sort of emerges?
Well, again, I think it's based on the demand that you put on them in practice. We demand a lot of these kids in practice. These big guys, they get worn out, and they get worn out fast because they're all he's 360. We got another guy's 320. So the big guys get worn out fast, and we demand a lot of them in practice. And during the season, we're going to have to play a lot more than 3 guys. I mean, we're going to have to roll a lot of guys in there to keep guys fresh.
How many guys do you like to play on? Is it between 8 and 10, 6 and 8?
Well, see, it's different because I've always had the 4 down guys before. So we always played 8 guys is what we did, and that second 4 guy could play end or tackle. The way we're set up right now, we're kind of a base front. We're playing 3 guys and then 3 guys, and then there's going to have to be 2 of them. So we'll still be in the neighborhood about 8 guys though.
Are those guys pretty bunched up in terms of ability, or is there much separation that you see right now?
It's a good question, and I can't tell you I got an honest answer for you at this particular point.
I'll take any kind of answer.
There's 2 guys, like I said. Well, there's 2 guys that I said have really stood out, and that's Couch and Centimore. Right now, a lot of the other guys are bunched up a little bit.
Sal was just talking about Centimore, that he was shocked when he saw him in the spring, and he didn't look like the same guy that played at Alabama, but he said now he's back to where he was.
Well, he lost weight. He trimmed down a little bit. I think the kid's made a commitment over the summer to be a good player, and it shows so far in practice.
How about Dan Hood? How's he been?
Dan, you know what? Danny's really done a good job. He's coming off that injury, and really he's kind of what we're looking for in one of those inside positions. If we had to start again tomorrow, that it could possibly be him. I mean, don't know that yet, but it possibly could be him, one of those end positions.
So right now, your Couch and Cinnamore, you would probably count on them as starting.
As of today, but if they don't practice good tomorrow, they're not going to be starters.
In terms of that other position, I guess that's the one where Walls and some other guys are. What guys are sort of in the mix there? I think a lot of us are getting used to the 3-4-2.
Well, Marlon's definitely in there competing. Danny Hood's in there competing. You know, Salisbury's in there competing. Taylor's in there competing. We just got to make sure we put the right guys at the right place.
What about Corey Miller since he's come back? Where all is he?
Corey's done a lot of good things. You know, Corey's a little bit more of a specialty type guy. You know, more of a dime guy, a nickel guy to give you pass rush and stuff like that. He's not big enough right now to hold up inside.
Danny Hood progressing as a pass rusher. I know that's been something, last year it seemed like stuff in the run, being there, being a body, he was good at that, but other things.
I think what you got to understand, when you're a 3-4 team and those three inside guys, those guys are playing run first and pass second. So you're not going to get great pass rush out of them unless there's a great talent there. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we go to our other looks, our unders and our overlooks and stuff like that, then we'll find out how good a pass rushers are.
John, I'm sure you've been asked a lot about Dan McCullers. What's kind of been your early impressions of him? Good and
I have a very positive early impression of Dan because I think he worked his ass off. He's lost 30 pounds since last spring. He's come in here and worked hard. Does he have a lot of work to do? Hell yeah. But he's making progress.
Where does he need to improve between now and the next couple of weeks?
I just say he just needs to continue to work on keeping his pad level down and playing hard every snap. I got one more question. I'm going.
Thanks, Coach.
Is it, in terms of teaching technique, is it much different for you working with a 3-4 than it was with a 4-3?
Well, 3-4 is different, but we play a little bit of 4-3, we play a little bit of under, and those are the ones I'm really, really familiar with coaching. Sal's got a little bit more expertise in the 3-4, but I'm comfortable doing it. It's just that I haven't done it. In the NFL, when we 3-4'd it, we didn't play it like we do here because those guys, when we 3-4'd it there, they were still supposed to be pass rushers. You know what I'm saying? These guys are pluggers, stop the run first, play the pass second.
Thanks, John.
Coach.
Yep.